Patrick Bagora woke up one bright morning feeling very fine. He fixed himself a bit of a breakfast and set out for his morning stroll. When he came to the doorway of a snug small house at the roots of an old orange tree, Patrick stretched his arms out and swelled his chest for a breath of fresh morning air. Then he lit his pipe. But the pipe almost fell out of his mouth, and his arms froze straight out in the air. So shocked he was at the sight he saw. There were people in his orange grove, big people, flitting around as if they owned the place. Well, Patrick Bagora was not the last of the little people left in the whole movie land for nothing. He had courage, did Patrick Bagora, so he stepped right up to the big people to find out what this was all about. At first, they wouldn't even look at him, but Patrick took care of that. He stamped down hard, right on the foot of one. "Ow!" cried Donald Duck, for it was he. "I've been stung. There must be bees around here." He looked down then. "What's this?" he cried. "Who in the world are you?" "Who are you yourself, is a question," said Patrick Bagora right back. "This is my home after all it has been these many years. And what may I ask you are doing here? Acting as if you own the place. So much as your leaf, cried Bagora. "Who are we?" cried Donald Duck. "Don't you go to the movies? Don't you watch TV? Don't you read books or newspapers? Don't you know Goofy and Pluto? Don't you know Donald Duck?" No, cried Patrick, and he blew a smoke ring right in Donald's face. "My name is Mickey Mouse, sir," said one of the other big people, snooping down to hold out his hand. "So this is your home here, Mr. Bagora?" "That it is," said Patrick Bagora. "And I'd like a little peace and quiet. I think you ought to leave at once." "Well," Mickey said, "I'm afraid we can't do that. You see, we're going to start building here soon. We're going to move all these old trees." "Move these trees? Stop building here!" cried Patrick Bagora, jumping up and down in a purple rage. "Oh, no you don't. Not while I'm around." "And what can you do to stop us, little fellow?" asked Donald Duck with a chuckle, leaning on his shovel in a cocky way. I'll show you," said Patrick. With a snap of his fingers, down in a heap went Donald Duck, for the shovel handle had splintered, just like that. "What happened?" cried Donald Duck, picking himself up. "Let that be a lesson for you," said Patrick Bagora. "Oh, don't mind him," said Goofy. "Let's start digging up these trees." "And what was it you had planned to build here? Some sort of school, perhaps?" asked Patrick. "No, a wonderful place called Disneyland," said Mickey. "With all sorts of marvelous things for fun. A rocket trip to the moon, for one. A Wild West stagecoach ride. A magic pirate ship that can really fly. And a trip to the mine of the Seven Dwarfs." "Rocket ship? Flying pirate ship? You must be out of your head, said Patrick Bagora. "There are no such things." "Come along and see. We'll show you the plans. We're back at the studio," said Mickey Mouse. Before he knew what he was about, Patrick Bagora found himself walking along with Mickey and the rest. but he stopped short when they opened a door into a strange-looking bubble of glass. "Oh, no, you don't," she cried in an alarm. "I don't have to go in there. What is this?" "It's a helicopter coming an airplane. Come along for the ride," said Mickey.
Keep going.
Okay.
Hey.
When he saw all the rest of them piling in, Patrick McGorrow went too. Soon, with a whir and a rush of blades, up went the helicopter, straight up in the air, and the ground dropped away below. But you should have heard Patrick yell then. He had never dreamed of such a thing. But soon, he was so busy watching the sights as they flew over oil wells and city streets and towering brown hills that he had no time to be scared. Then down they swooped at the studio, and soon Patrick found himself deep in Disneyland plans, like of which he had never had seen. There were rows of pretty little shops, winding rivers, and overhead railroad trains. So many wonderful things that Patrick's head was a-spin. "And this is what you had planned, and this is what you are planning to build here in the orange trees?" asked Patrick. "Yes," said Mickey. "That's our plan." Then go ahead, lads, if you can," said Patrick McGorrow. "The place is yours. There's just one little thing I ask. May I build me a wee snug little house and live there quietly after you have finished this Disneyland?" "Fine," said Mickey. "We'll build you the house. How about one of these?" "No, lad, no," said Patrick McGorrow. "I'd like a place out of sight, hidden away, so to speak." "All right," said Mickey, "just as you say." So they shook hands on it. The bargain was made. They flew back to Disneyland site, and the next morning the work began. Every day Patrick came out to watch, and sometimes maybe he'd shake his head and sigh. "Oh, the good old days," he said, "when the little people lived around these parts, thicker than a cactus plant. You could see them dancing on the deserts of a night with tiny hiccup candles for light. And another one of them was around here now, all moved away when these clouds of big people moved in. Yes, everyone gone over to me. How I wish there were some others still around to see these amazing days. For every day that it seems the picture changed. One day the railway station went up, the entrance to Disneyland. Then, almost in a blink of an eye, Main Street was taking shape. Soon it was time for the last tree to come out, the one with Patrick's home in its roots. "Sorry, Pat," said Mickey. "Got to go. But we'll find you a good new place." "Don't bother," said Patrick. "I picked one myself." But he would not say where his new house was. He trundled out his household goods in his wee wheelbarrow. All day he sat in the bare shades, smoking a small clay pipe. And at night, when everyone had gone home, Patrick wheeled his wee wheelbarrow through the shadows of Disneyland to the spot he had picked for his home. Come morning, he was back on the job, keeping an eye on things. "Good morning, Patrick," said Donald Duck. "Did you sleep well in your new house?" "Very well, thank you," said Patrick the Squirrel, with a twinkle in his eye. But do you know, not a soul discovered just where Patrick's new house is. So when you visit Disneyland, you keep your eyes open wide. Maybe you'll see a wee man in green smoking a small clay pipe. But maybe you'll follow him when he goes home and find out where he lives. If you do, you'll be the only one in the world who's found Patrick the Squirrel's home. The end.
Very good.
All right.